Hi everyone, this is Alejandro Cremades, and today we're going to be talking about how to create an executive summary. So really an executive summary at the end of the day is just like a one-pager. I mean, it's the best way in which you can really position and package your business for anyone to review. Particularly what you would use an executive summary for is perhaps when you want to gain access to an investor and maybe one of your advisors wants to give an introduction, or really to give to someone like a really generic overview of the business. So let's get into it. So the first section is who we are. So on who we are, you want to talk about like perhaps the business, like some of the team members. It's like some of the really interesting highlights of the business and kind of like a 30,000 foot view of what the business is all about. The next section of the executive summary is the traction. So when it comes to the traction, you want to talk about some of the key highlights of the business. So like you want to talk about like the big milestones, like the big accomplishments, like some of the progress that you've done. Like maybe like you can talk about the number of users or how great you're doing on the revenue side or how great you're doing with repeating customers. So I think that here what you want to do is highlight the most critical components and the wow factors of your business. The next section is the problem. So it's not going to be 1, 2, or 3 different problems. It's going to be just one single problem. And you want to position the problem in a way in which whoever is reviewing can really get that background relatedness to it. It's either they have experienced that problem, a family member has experienced that problem, or someone else that they know that has experienced that specific problem that you're looking to resolve. Now you gotta be very specific here. You don't want to mix the problem with the solution. Keep it to one problem and really go into it in a way in which you're going to really identify a way to get a problem that people can relate to very easily. The next section is the solution. So it's really like, what are you doing to really address that problem that you were talking about earlier? And that's really your business. Like you gotta understand and the best way to think about the solution is when you came up with your business idea, with your concept, like what was that aha moment that you said, okay, we're gonna do this, and by doing this, we're really gonna tackle that problem. So that is the exact solution that you wanna put here. It's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3. It's one solution that you're bringing to the market that has a gap and where you are basically addressing that gap head on. The next section is the opportunity and landscape. So when we're talking about the opportunity and landscape, you really want to do a deep dive on the market, how big the market is, who are the players that are already perhaps like in that specific industry, in that segment, competing against you directly or indirectly. And perhaps here what you can talk about is some of the advantages that you're bringing to the market with your own business, that it's going to allow you to move faster and farther than anyone else that is already operating in your same market. The next section is the revenue model. And here what you're going to be talking about is how you intend to make money. How are you monetizing? What is that business model? And here you don't want to just like throw in like a big, a screenshot of the financial plan. It's a very simple way in which you are describing to the investor how you are making money or how you intend to make money. And the best way to do this is by giving a summarized breakdown of the way that you're doing such thing. The next section is the one related to fundraising. Here what you want to talk about is how much capital are you raising? And rather than just like throwing one figure, you want to throw in a range. So instead of saying, let's say 2 million, because here's the thing, if you go with 2 million, you're going to be missing out on everyone that is investing under 2 million. If you go with 2 million, you're also going to be missing out on everyone that is investing over 2 million. So if you want to go for 2 million, just say that you're raising between 1 million and 3 million. That way you're going to be able to tackle all those investors that are investing under 2 million and over 2 million. So the pool is going to be even bigger. The next section is the team. And when it comes to the team, you want to talk about the leadership team, maybe the founding team or the C-suite, of the business. You don't want to put absolutely every employee, even the interns. You just want to keep it simple. And what you want to hear convey is that you have the right people seated in the right seats of the bus. Because eventually, as many different experts say, is that a startup at the end of the day is a bus without a direction. And if you have the right people seated on the right seats of the bus, you will eventually get there. So for that reason, people want to know that you have some type of seniority level, or that you have people with a track record that are going to be able to identify, really how to execute and how to really get, like, in a powerful way, the next 18 to 24 months of roadmap in order to really get to the next milestones. The next section of the executive summary is the advisory board. So here on the advisory board, you want to throw in the advisors that are helping you. You want to also talk about, like, what kind of advisors are those? Like, why did you decide to bring the advisor? Maybe you can label the expert, like maybe it's a fundraising expert, a marketing expert, whatever type of expert that is, but you want to label it here. And that is going to also act as a way for doing social proof, because in many instances, for example, the investor may be like, hey, look, I know this advisor, I'm going to give this advisor a call and see what they think of this business. So don't miss out of the opportunity of really putting your advisors here and putting them in the best light possible so that they understand not only their accomplishments, but also how can they apply their accomplishments to help your business. The next section is the address. So you want to put the address of your business, where are you guys located, because in many instances, the investors, for them, the geographic location is super critical before making an investment. So I really do encourage you to put the address of your business. And then also the last piece here is the contact information. On the contact information, you got to put your name, you got to put your number, so if they have to call you at 2 a.m., they need to reach you somewhere if they want to invest. And then also you want to put your title in the business, whether it's founder, CEO, whatever that is. So with that being said, that's the executive summary and how you create it. And if you like this video, make sure that you click the subscribe button below. Also leave a comment, hit like, and then don't forget about the fundraising training that you can see on the link below, where we help founders every step of the way from A to C with everything fundraising related. And on that training platform, you're going to find anything related, like templates, agreements, live Q&A sessions, a community of founders that helps each other. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching.